Bonjour, alors je vais commencer à me présenter. Je suis Anthony, je suis commercial au sein de Whatsoft. Moi, je vais vous aider plus pour la partie commerciale de cette présentation et différents éléments d'information par rapport à la solution d'archivage MailStore, qui est d'un éditeur allemand. Je suis accompagné par mon collègue Philippe
Bonjour.
en dessous qui va se présenter, qui va lui gérer la partie questions-réponses au niveau technique, qui est lui au sein de Whatsoft depuis de nombreuses années.
Oui, donc bonjour, je m'appelle Philippe Di Giovanni et donc je m'occupe de toute la partie technique au niveau des produits MailStore. Je fais également donc des formations sur ce produit-là. Donc si vous avez des questions techniques, je serai ravi de vous répondre après la présentation. Donc, voilà.
Maintenant, on a l'éditeur qui va sûrement attaquer et se présenter. Donc, vous avez avec vous aujourd'hui Kai, qui est le responsable du channel pour la partie MailStore, et Eiko qui s'occupe de toute la partie plutôt technique en avant-vente. So, Kai and Eiko, it's now your time, and you can introduce yourself and start the presentation if you want.
Merci beaucoup, Anthony. Bonne journée et bienvenue. Nous sommes heureux que vous participiez à notre atelier aujourd'hui. Je m'appelle Kai et je suis Channel Sales Manager. Avec ma collègue Heiko Borchardt, nous aimerions vous donner un aperçu de l'édition du fournisseur de Service Provider Edition. Notre collègue Anthony de l'équipe Whatsoft nous soutiendra avec Philippe. Malheureusement, nous ne parlons pas couramment le français. Nous donnerons donc la présentation en anglais. Si vous avez des questions, nous pouvons les clarifier par la suite ou lors d'une visite sur notre stand. So, what are we going to look at during today's workshop in detail? First, we will take a look at the company MailStore Software GmbH and products we have to offer. Then we will focus on the benefits of email archiving for different target groups and take a closer look at what MailStore has to offer and how it's licensed. In our live session, my colleague Heiko will demonstrate how the MailStore SPE looks like and what functionality it has to offer. If time permits, we will do a short Q&A session at the end of our workshop. So MailStore Software GmbH was already founded more than a decade ago and focuses ever since on the development of innovative email archiving solutions. Our target market are customers with up to 500 users, although we have quite a couple of customers who are a little bit larger. We are a German-based company with around about 50 employees that are mainly located in the Düsseldorf area, and we serve more than 70,000 end customers from all kinds of verticals within more than 100 countries. Since last year, we belong to the Canadian company OpenText, which the one or other of you might know. So let's take a look at the different products MailStore has to offer. The MailStore journey began with the development of the freeware solution MailStore Home. Private users are able to store their emails from internet mailboxes such as Gmail or Yahoo Mail in an archive and search for them. This solution helps us still today a lot, since not only IT admins love this solution in private life, and so they're looking for a commercial solution for their employer. This brings us to the second solution and still most successful commercial solutions we have, which is MailStore Server. The software creates one-on-one copies of all emails in a central email archive to ensure the security and also the availability of large amounts of data over a period of years and makes them accessible. This solution has served as a basis for the development of the third solution that we want to focus on today. This is the MailStore Service Provider Edition. With the MailStore SPE, MSPs are able to offer their own email archiving as a service based on their own or leased infrastructure. I would like to start with 5 reasons why service providers definitely should consider offering email archiving as a service based on the MailStore SPE. First, a really obvious point, you want to increase the service portfolio. You can also integrate accompanying services such as consulting or the setup into your service portfolio. Our most successful service providers add email archiving as a mandatory supplementary product to their portfolio. We know of a lot of successful partners who use cross-selling with other provided services. Unfortunately, not all service providers offer email archiving as managed service yet, but this is your opportunity to fill this gap in the market. Many companies are actively looking for a solution that can help them meet legal requirements to archive their emails. So this is an opportunity to tap into this potential. By offering, for example, several managed services around email, you can achieve a high level of long-term customer retention. To understand why you should opt for the MailStore SPE, it makes sense to take a general look at why companies go into the cloud. First of all, they want to reduce the risk by not having an own infrastructure that's necessary. Second, they want to have a better availability, so they want to be independent from their company network. Third, they want to reduce cost and not spend their time with backup strategies, with having to think about renewal cost of different software, but they want to have packages and have this with a service provider. So this is your opportunity to make your service appeal personal. So you can make your own cloud service out of the rather anonymous cloud. You can make your own service with a brand hosted in France, build your service locally with a differentiator to the public cloud operators. The SPE technology enables you to synchronize from different sources, so you are able to offer the solution to many different clients with many different backgrounds. The SPE is currently used by over 1,000 service providers worldwide, so it's heavily tested in the market. So what would customer groups look like that are ideal for the service provider edition? We have different examples. For example, we have service providers that are quite successful in serving smaller customers like travel agencies. We have a service provider who noticed that tour operators do not seem to offer the service themselves, and therefore he stepped in and offers email archiving as a service next to other services to those rather small travel agencies and specialized in this area. We have the same with a partner who's specialized on dentists. Another good target group is our customers without own infrastructure, so really small ones that don't want to invest themselves into an infrastructure but would like to rely on a partner to do this. A third group would be customers who are really have a high cloud affinity and affinity to a modern infrastructure. The installation of the SPE is pretty easy and fast. My colleague Heike will show you in a couple of minutes how fast you can also onboard a potential customer within the SPE. In the next chapter, let us take a short look at the general benefits of email archiving. So how can I profit from MailStore? First, if I am an IT admin. With email archiving in place, emails can be deleted from the mail service mailboxes according to a rule-based process. Of course, they have been once they have been archived. Many customers delete their emails after 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, and they are able to access those historic emails via the mail archive. By reducing the mail server's data load, it can be backed up much more easily, and the restore process is much more quickly in the event of a failure. Heiko will show you how quick and easy an end customer instance is set up. The initial setup of the MailStore SPE will be as easy as updating to the latest version of the software. One of the key advantages of MailStore is that you save storage costs through deduplication and compression. There you can save up to 70% of your storage space. But this will be shown by Heiko as well. The second perspective would be the perspective of a business owner. The business owner is the one who's interested in meeting compliance requirements. The MailStore SPE can help to meet these, as well as the EU's General Data Protection Regulation, so the GDPR, by defining retention policies. If you think of applications, for example, we have the possibility to delete these applications after a certain while. In Germany, this would be after 6 weeks, for example, and you can define a retention policy that deletes all emails with applications after this time frame. With the release of the latest version, the solution has been GDPR certified as well. Within emails, there's an enormous knowledge communicated. The problem is that many companies only notice this when they don't have access to this knowledge anymore. Emails can be lost either due to technical errors, such as corrupt PST files, I think we all know this, or they are even deleted by users. As an example, when employees leaving companies, they sometimes delete their entire mailbox. This does not really make much sense with email archiving because you have those emails still available. If a business owner is not convinced yet, you need to tell him about the reduction of the IT workload and the storage requirements. These usually cover the costs of implementing an email archiving solution within quite a fast time. Our third perspective would be the one of an end user. For him, the search functionality is extremely fast and you can search through attachments. This is something you should demonstrate to your customers. Let him try to search for an email, for example, or an attachment themselves. This is usually one of the best sales arguments for our software. End users are able to restore emails themselves just with one click. If you compare the situation to having an IT admin to take a look for a lost email, this saves so much time and helps the end user a lot. With MailStore, they don't have to leave their known working environment anymore, but they can use their known environments such as Microsoft Outlook. We have a seamless integration there. And as a last point, with email archiving, you eliminate the need for mailbox quotas, so you don't have to worry about a 1, 2, or 3 gigabyte limit that you have for emails, but and users creating PST files as a reason for this, but users are able to don't care about mailbox quotas anymore. What possibilities does an end user have to access the archive? By default, it's always only his or her archive, but you could provide a person also with other archives, like from addresses like sales at, info at, support at, emails. The most common way of accessing the archive is our Outlook add-in. Employees have the option to search through historic emails in their environment, and they are able to do a quick search. They are also able to do a filter search, so they can search from a certain person, or whether an email has an attachment, doesn't have an attachment, an email that was sent to a certain person. There are other options as well. You have the possibility to get your folder structure into the archive as well. You are able to search through attachments like quotes or invoices. If you, for example, only know that there's a certain quote number or invoice number, you are you can pretty fast find this email. The web access offers basically the same functionality and can also be used via mobile devices. The archive client is mostly used for administration purposes. And the integrated IMAP server functionality enables you to access your emails with, for example, an iPhone. I know of quite a lot of people who are quite happy to have their email archive with them using a mobile phone, for example. So let's start with an overview of the MailStore technology. MailStore offers very flexible archiving. We support nearly all email servers, clients, and file formats, whether it's Microsoft Exchange servers, Microsoft 365, Google G Suite, but also PST files or EML files and email clients such as Microsoft Outlook. There's no web server necessary, and there's no database management server necessary with MailStore. Having talked so much about MailStore, the MailStore SPE and the benefits, I'm pretty sure you're quite keen to get to know the solution, how the solution is licensed and what costs are associated with it. With the MailStore SPE, you can create your own solution branded according to your own company brand. So that's a good opportunity for you to get your brand more promoted. The MailStore SPE is built based on the monthly reported total number of user archives over all customers, over all users you have within the solution. With every newly generated instance, the end customer will be given a free trial period of at least 30 days. Whether you provide this for free to your customer, this is totally up to you. Within the monthly costs, you have phone support via MailStore included. So it does not matter if you call us several times a week or month, the billing will always remain the same. And especially in the trial phase, please get in contact, especially with WhatsApp and with us as well. If there are technical questions, we are happy to share our experience with you. And since we have the opinion that you sell best if you use and love the product yourself, we offer a free NFR instance for up to 25 user archives for all productive MSPs. After sharing so much information in so little time with you, I'm sure you are interested to take a glance at the solution yourself. So my colleague Heiko will now show you the MailStore SPE in a live environment. I hope Heiko will be able to continue.
Yes, bonjour, hello. Okay, now you should see my screen, hopefully. Okay, I give you a brief overview about the SPE from a live part. As you can see, this is the MailStore Management Console. This is where everything is managed, where you set up your instance host and your client access servers, where you basically have all your customers, so your clients. So this would basically look like a live installation. So you have several customers that have all their own SQL database. What you basically do is if you get a new customer, then you could just create a new instance. You have to define an ID.
Excuse me, Heiko.
Yes.
I cannot see your screen. I don't know if other people can see your screen, but I'm still seeing the live demo slide of the PowerPoint.
I think that's fine. Everyone is seeing the Heiko screen. Just
Okay.
maybe Kai, you can just stop sharing your screen, and that will be fine.
Okay.
Okay. So let me. Okay, so I think I continue. So I define an ID name like this, and could set an alias since I stick to the car manufacturers. I stick to this. Select a basic directory where I want to have the database stored, and enable the VSS writer for backup, and that's basically all. I click on OK, and then a new instance will be created. This is going to take a few seconds, and then the instance, has been created with an admin, with a new password for the admin, and this is my new customer. And now I could just jump into this and configure it. Since this would take a few minutes, let me just show you an already existing instance like this Ferrari. So here I can jump in and have the overview of the instance. Basically what I do is I create users. That could be that I create them manually by hand if it's a smaller customer for maybe 5 users, or if possible, we recommend to synchronize with the directory service. This could be, of course, Microsoft 365. This could be an Active Directory, iSwap, G Suite. Basically, it depends on your client's environment. And then you synchronize the users. So quite simple. You could also grant users privileges to access other users' archives. And then the next step is to archive the messages from your client. And this could be that you want to archive the local files, like to get rid of the PST files and transfer all the data to this archive. You could archive local mail clients if you want to. Maybe you have a POP3 customer, then you want to archive the local mail client. And the best option, of course, would be to directly archive from the mail server. This could be an IMAP mail server, and you just enter the host name, the mail address, and the password. This could be our gateway, which is basically a free tool that acts as a proxy for POP3 and SMTP traffic, or is also a helpful tool for Microsoft 365 journaling. Or we directly archive from Microsoft 365, from Exchange. So there are several options. And the good thing is I can show you the archives. In this case, there are 727 megabytes of data for all of those users that have been archived. If I have a look at this on my hard disk, then you can see that it's only 173 megabytes of disk space. And this is because we deduplicate and we also zip attachments. With this, you have a compression rate. The archive size is usually between 1/4 and 1/3 of the size of the archive source. So you don't need as much disk space as the messages you want to archive. Also, what's also important for your customers, with those archive profiles here, you could configure this that messages will automatically be deleted maybe after a year. So your customers, if they run into quota problems, you could get rid of them quite easily. Just configure this as you want to, and then messages will be deleted after they have been successfully archived. Here you could also define inclusions or exclusions. So folders you want to archive or folders you don't want to archive. It's quite easy. Some filter options. So it's easy to set up. Another important part also is our compliance section, where you could configure retention policies, where you can make sure that messages would be automatically deleted, like messages should be deleted after 15 years, or maybe you have a rule that says that job application mails should be deleted after 90 days. So whatever you configure here, make sure that messages would be automatically deleted, like out of office messages, or that messages cannot be deleted, and even by the admin. So it's quite an important functionality, even with the auditing, where actions will be logged. So whenever the admin configures a configuration, makes a change, or maybe messages get deleted, then everything will be tracked. This is just a short overview about the installation, and the whole SPE can, from admin side, can be branded with your company logo, with your company name, so you can replace them quite easily. We do have in the MailStore infrastructure config a branding folder, and here it's quite simple. You just have to open the text files, rename the name here, change it, put in your logos, your icons. Quite simple. We do have a guide for this. So this is a global branding that makes this like your product, where it's your company name. This is, well, quite a brief overview of the administration. Of course, it's interesting to see how the end user could access their messages. And here they could use the web access, for example, and this is a fully responsive one. So no matter if you use a tablet or maybe a smartphone, the resolution changes. And here they could restore single messages. Of course, most of the customers and your clients, I guess, will use the Outlook add-in. And here in this example, Dave has also access to Alexis and to my archive. And here he could quite easily either show or browse through the folder structure. And then he could either open the message and then reply to the message or forward the message to another colleague, or he could just restore the message. And then he gets this envelope and drags and drops it to a folder where he wants this message to be restored. So the client is able to restore single messages by himself. He doesn't need to contact his own admin. He doesn't need to contact you as a service provider. So you don't have that high of an administrative effort to configure an instance and to run the instance. Basically, it's just set it up, and then you basically just have to monitor it. That's basically all you have to do. Also, what you could do, of course, is to use the search functionality. Here you could just select. Oh, let me see. So why it's not responding? Okay. So my system is quite busy. Yeah, if you run a search, for example, for tests, and of course in all folders, you could configure it to run maybe a certain range of date range here, or with or without attachments. If I click on search, then it's just a matter of a second in this case to receive 294 results. And even here I could easily select a message and restore it. So it's a very fast tool to search in your database. in your archive, and it's if you combine this with the deletion of messages older than a certain range of time, like 2 years, yeah, you don't even have just a fast search in your archive, but you make sure that your Outlook is running faster, your exchange, the exchange of your customer responds more fast, quite faster. You don't run into database quotas. So there are a lot of reasons to choose the SPE. And I think one of those reasons is, of course, the fast search engine that we have. And the other one for you as a service provider is that it's very easy to administer, that it doesn't need much time and effort. So yeah, that was just the short overview of this SPE for you.
Thank you, Heiko. We have a question on the chat from someone attending, asking for tools to import former archives from O365. Do you have any advice regarding this?
Well, we have several options to archive. If it's exported as PST, then we could archive the PSTs. If they have been exported as EML, then we could archive those messages. And it's not only for maybe Office 365 or Microsoft 365. It depends on the former archiving software. Some offer an IMAP access, so we could access to the database as IMAP. That are the options. We don't have a tool that converts other databases to some kind of format we could use.
Okay. Si vous avez d'autres questions, n'hésitez pas à les poser, profitez-en. Il y a même Philippe qui est là pour vous répondre en français si besoin. Donc surtout, n'hésitez pas à participer, hein, c'est l'occasion.
Alors, il y a une question, est-ce qu'on peut faire de l'archivage directement depuis Azure dans MailStore? Et je pense qu'on va finir sur cette question parce qu'après, le temps va nous manquer.
Philippe?
Oui, alors pour Microsoft Azure, c'est une très bonne question. Honnêtement, je pense qu'il y a possibilité de le faire, mais en fait, au niveau des serveurs de messagerie, comme vous voyez, vous avez toutes les possibilités donc des serveurs de messagerie qui existent. Après, lorsque ce n'est pas possible directement avec un serveur de messagerie, vous avez la possibilité, si le serveur en question utilise le protocole IMAP et POP, vous pouvez tout à fait faire cet archivage de cette façon-là. Après, lorsque c'est pas possible d'y accéder via IMAP et POP, comme l'a dit Heiko, il y a possibilité, donc si on a la source en fichier PST, de le faire directement via les fichiers PST ou bien directement en fichier en format EML ou MSG. Voilà.
Merci Philippe.
Très bien, merci à tous. Thank you guys for your time and demonstration.